Critical Mass. If you've heard of Critical Mass before, likely you've heard of their 5,000 watt UL-A5V2 subwoofer that they list for $15,000. That's right, my friends. $15,000. You can have a closer look. I'll leave a link in the video description. You can go look yourself. This sub, $14,999.00. This is, according to Car Audio and Electronics, the perfect subwoofer. October 2006. Hand-built classic here on the cover, but yet we flip it to the inside and we will see the ad that says the perfect sub, the best subwoofer by which all others will be judged. This guy says, I gladly sell a few things to pay the $2,000 price tag. Now again, this was 2006. If you look at the quotes, it says the performance is no less than outstanding, every bit of resonance recreated with distinction. All kind of great quotes here. We'll go back to this July 2006, and this is where the Critical Mass subwoofer is tested. You can see here on the cover, I have it highlighted, Critical Mass UL-A5V2, the perfect sub. That's right, Car and Electronics said this, not the company. And I'll leave a link in the video description to this article so you can read it in the archive.org. They have it archived. Now, they also have a 5.1 system for a car that you can have installed for only $299,000. This Chrysler 300C was introduced back in, I think, 2006 CES, and it had this complete setup. Each person in the car, each of the 4 seats, had 5.1 surround sound. Let's see what Speed TV had to say about this.
This is the only car in the world with a true 5.1 surround system for each position in the car. And if you want to get one installed, it's going to cost you 6 months without your car and over $250,000.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
So I talked about all that before just to kind of set a standard here for what we're going to expect. Here is the ULA-A5, best amplifier ever made according to this ad. $4,795 listed on eBay. According to the listing, you know, it far exceeds virtually all other amplifiers offered at any price. Also, if you're a bass head or a hi-fi nut, doesn't matter. This amp is the best for you according to this. We do have somebody that has something to say though.
Good evening, friends. Dick Riculous here, reporting live for WBIGD TV. Today we're going to talk about another product. We're going to have Big D test and prove if it's true, if it's false, if it's right, if it's wrong, if the manufacturer's leading you down a path of destruction, if they're just plain out lying to you, lying to you, lying to you. We are here and we're going to report it because that's what we do. Dick Riculous here, WBIGD TV.
Daily I have offers to test people's amplifiers, and I usually have to turn them down because I'm working on other stuff. But in this case, when I was offered this Critical Mass by Mr. Barbosa, I was like, yeah, we're going to have to look at this. Need to find out what's going on with this. I can tell you it was listed for almost $5,000 on eBay. He didn't pay nowhere near that. About $700, I think, about is what was paid. It does say made in the USA here on the outside. Says it's perfect, all that good stuff. In the manual, what I did notice, it was very odd. It didn't have any specs in the manual, and it said go to the website. Well, I went to the website, and there was nothing there. Also, a couple of the screws came out, and the amplifier itself just felt cheap. It's hard to describe, but the bottom felt cheap. You can see it does have Tiffany-style RCAs, front, rear, and sub. I like that. Also, really like these potentiometers. They look brass. They're really quality-filling potentiometers. That's nice. You can see they're broken down into front channels for gain and high-pass filter. Also, the rear channels have a gain and high-pass filter. And on the sub channel, you have quite a bit more. You have a gain, low-pass filter, subsonic, bass boost, and boost frequency. And again, on the very far right, there is a couple buttons, and I'm going to talk about those later. Those are for THD Protect. And we'll find out if those work or not, or if they're just there for looks. I guess you can probably imagine. On the opposite side, we just have typical inputs, you know, for power and ground, remote, and then all the speaker terminals, and they are over and under speaker terminals. But the power, ground, and remote, in the manual, it says 2 gauge for the power and ground. However, 4 gauge adapter I was trying to use here, and this will fit in almost every 4 gauge I've ever tried amp. It would not fit. So these are small, very small 4 gauge adapters. For the speakers, they're over and under. So up top and down low, and a power protect LED is there as well. And I'm going to show you how the speakers connect. So positive and negative go like that. And when you bridge the amp, you can use the bottom connector. So that makes it easier for hooking it up. As far as dimensions go, 14 inches on the long side, 10.5 inches wide, 2 inches for the height, millimeter equivalents are there as well. As far as the ratings, I had to use archive.org to find this amp on their website. 4 ohms rated 150 by 4 plus 500, 2 ohms 200 by 4 plus 1000, and 1 ohm the sub-channel only 2500 by 1. Testing a 5-channel amp is kind of complex with the amp dyno because I have to wire it up in many different ways using resistors to make sure all the channels are loaded. So we're firstly going to do the 4-channel side, test at 1 kilohertz. We're going to load all the channels with 4 ohm resistors, including the sub-channel, and then we're going to test 2 of these channels. So let's try it out here. Certified 1% THD first. It's rated 150 by 4. And yeah, we got 115 and 108, so nowhere close to the rating. So honestly, that didn't start us off very well if we didn't even get rated power at 4 ohms. Let's reset it and try the uncertified test, which takes us up to the clipping point of the amp. Maybe we can get that 150 by 4 here. Here we go, it's counting up. 114 and 108. So we're quite a ways away from the 150 by 4 rated. Again, all the channels are loaded at 4 ohms. And with a 5-channel amp, loading the sub-channel as well with a 1 kilohertz test doesn't really even load the sub-channel. So this should be a light load on the amplifier. Should be able to do its rated power, honestly. 125, and it's counting up a little bit, 127 and 116 dynamic burst. Now when we get to the sub-channel test, I will be able to show you some efficiency numbers. But now let's switch to the 2 ohms test on the 4-channel mode. Again, all of the channels are loaded at 2 ohms, including the sub-channel. So here we go, certified 1% THD. Notice it stops at 89 and 52, and then it jumps up 137, 104.
This is not a Mickey Mouse program.
They're just plain out lying to you.
All right, we'll keep going here. Let's try the uncertified test on the 4-channel mode at 2 ohms, rated 200 by 4. See what we get. Counting up a little more. 158, 171, and again, plenty of voltage here. 14.6 is the lowest you'll probably see in all these tests. So we have plenty of voltage to give this amplifier the chance to get its rated power. Dynamic, we get kind of close on one of the channels to 200, but there is a big discrepancy, like 45 watt difference between 2 channels here. I don't like that. I mean, normally you can get by with like 5 or 10% between the channels, but this is a lot. Now let's try the subwoofer channel. Now we're going to load the sub at 40 hertz, actually loading all channels at 40 hertz. We have 4 ohms on the sub, 4 ohms on all the main channels. So everything's loaded down. Now let's try the certified run first, 1% THD. Rating is 500 watts. And we get 399. We also have the AMM1 showing the other channels and 106 watts. So we'll do 106 by 4 for the main channels, including the 399 on the sub. And that way we'll be able to get to show you the efficiency here in a minute. Uncertified tests on the sub channel going up to clipping. Again, rated 500 watts. And here we go. 407, 14.74. So it's not due to lack of voltage. We definitely have plenty of voltage. What about dynamically? Can we get that 500 watts? Nope. 429, is it going to count any higher? I don't think so. 429 at 14.81. Now let's check out the efficiency we talked about before. 73.4% efficiency. That's all channels added up, as well as the voltage times the current. And we got 73.4%. Let's try 2 ohms. We have the sub loaded at 2 ohms, 4 ohms on the main channels. Here we go. Certified test first. It's rated 1,000 watts. Notice it's jumping around. That's not a good sign. 652, 14.68.
Hey, where's the beat? I don't think there's anybody back there.
Once again, we measured the 4-channel mode as well. 100 watts, 104 by 4 at 3.9 ohms. Now let's try uncertified test up to clipping on the sub-channel. 2 ohms, plenty of voltage. We are still quite a ways away from the rated 1,000 watts. 679 at 14.66. Dynamic burst. Is it possible we can get 1,000 watts dynamically at 2 ohms? We're just over 800, so we're still 20% shy of getting our rated number. That's sad. Now, what about efficiency at 2 ohms on the sub-channel? We got 78.2, so a little bit better, which tells us, hey, it's not so bad with efficiency. Not great, but not so bad. Now we're going to load this sub-channel down to 1 ohm, 4 ohms on the main channels, and all of them are running at 40 hertz. So here we go. Certified test first. Look at this. It counts up to 137, and it just like, no, I'm good. I don't need to count anymore. And we stopped the test in 676 at 14.7 volts, rated 2500. Now we'll try the uncertified test at 1 ohm. You'll notice the numbers count up cleanly here, which means up to clipping we have clean power. And look at this. We don't even get the 1,000 watts that's rated at 2 ohms. It's rated 2500 at 1 ohm. 954 at 14.55. Now, what about dynamic? Again, plenty of voltage here on the sub channel. We have almost 14.7, 14.68, 1,378 watts. Now, let's check out the results. We show the 4-channel results here. Did not meet its rated power at 4 ohms or 2 ohms in any of the tests. And yeah, if you want to see some more tests after the end credits, I will show some more. On the sub channel, didn't meet any of its ratings either. At 1% THD at 1 ohm, it didn't even do the test very cleanly. So we know that amps are more than just their ratings and their measurements as far as power. So let's hook it up to some speakers, see how it sounds. The ELA-A5V2 bookshelf speakers plus the quad box. Again, YouTube isn't the best for sound quality reproduction, but wait, we did find out there's some noise when we hook the amp up. So what's this all about? Let's take a listen. See if you guys can hear the noise here. Let's power up the amp and see if you can hear this noise that I hear. I've got the wireless mic right here. Definitely some screaming going on. I don't have any chargers hooked up. This is going straight to the LTO bank, so there should be no noise at all. If you're going to claim this is the best thing ever, we're going to try this stuff, and I just, sorry, do not see the hype here at all. This is by no means a true sound quality test because I don't have, super fancy equipment here. But I do want to try a couple songs just to see how it sounds. Smoke Jacket Blues. The squealing sound coming out of the speakers. Let's try this one. All right, so overall the sound quality was average. Did not like the low output, but it is what it is. So let's check out what's inside. And here are the thermals taken with the FLIR of the amp. You can see the output inductors there on the main 4 channels are kind of the hottest part. Now, on the bottom of the amp, it's got a few things of note. Handmade in the USA sticker, Auto Sound Grand Prix Award sticker, the warranty seal is in the very middle, and the inspector. So, handmade in the USA is very odd for this amp because I think this is not legit. The Auto Sound Grand Prix Award, that is a legitimate award, but I'm not sure this amp actually received it. Maybe that subwoofer did, the UL-12 possibly did. And the warranty, void if removed, is right in the center of the amp. You can take the bottom panel off without even touching it. And it's tested by ARRI. ARRI must not have checked that noise level, because now I do like the way the bottom screws actually have inserts that go into, so you're not using a real screw. It's kind of machined. Here's the bottom of the amp. It looks like a Chinese-made amplifier to me. I showed it to a few of my technician friends, and they agreed. This is not like it's made in the USA. It might have had a few parts assembled maybe in the USA. 25 volt, 2000 microfarad on the input, 50 volt, 4700 for the 4-channel mode. And we have 80 volt, 3300 for the sub-channel. And here it is, just very simple layout. It says Class A in the ads. It is not Class A, it's a Class D. Here's a driver board. So it's Class D for the 4-channel, Class D for the subwoofer. And these are even marked off so you can't even see what the transistors are. Now let's talk about the pros and cons. As you can imagine, not many pros. It has metal potentiometers, which are nice, Tiffany RCAs, and made in the USA. Right. As far as things that could be better, insane pricing, not Class A as stated. It has high noise floor, did not meet rated power at any of the modes. Sub-channel gain was very low. I didn't talk about that, but it was really hard for me to get to the full output of the sub-channel. THD Protect didn't really appear to do anything. No bass remote, and the sound quality was not so great. So there you have it, the Critical Mass ULA-A5 amplifier. Crazy price. A lot of claims that, hey, I'm not real sure what's going on here, what game is being played. But I can tell you there is nothing special about this amplifier from what I've seen in my test here. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed the test. Save your money. Buy something better quality. The UL-12 subwoofer is the real deal, but this amplifier is not. Till next time, Big D, I'm out of here. This Critical Mass 5-channel amp has this these buttons here for THD Protect. We're going to try it here for the subwoofer channel, see what kind of difference it makes in the output. We're going to try the 2 ohm and the 1 ohm test certified and see if it makes any difference. So let's see. Here we go, 2 ohms, 40 hertz on the sub channel. All right, as you could see, it did not count. It didn't count cleanly at all. I don't know what's up with that. Let's go back and try the uncertified test. I'm not sure what that option is doing because it's... All right, uncertified to clipping. With the button disable, we got 679. So let's see what we get with it enabled. Much less. 511, 14.62. We got 679 with it disabled. Interesting.
Make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell, go ding, it goes ding. Every time he puts out a video, get something in your inbox, you can go watch it, make his subscribers go through the roof. Maybe he'll pay Dick Riculous here a little bit more. Dick Riculous needs some more money because radio stations, this ain't radio, this is TV. TV stations don't play much, don't pay much. They don't play either, but they don't pay much. So make sure you subscribe to Big D so that Dick Riculous can get paid. And he'll quit modifying his voice because he talks one way 1 minute, the next way the next, and all confusing and stuff.
You know how them sound waves go?